just say it.
They're really into bikes and stuff like that, but they just sell the wrong shit.
Yeah.
And it's the same stuff they sell every time. It's like, why have you not sorted out your life yet? Write down what you need.
Sorry to stop you. It's warming up now. We should be going live in a short moment.
Warming up.
Yeah, YouTube takes a bit of time. So,
are you in a box? You look like you're in a box.
Yeah, he's under the shelf again.
Oh,
Woody.
Right, okay, here we go. Let's do this. Ooh, I've got to make sure I record. I didn't record the last time. Yesterday, I did a podcast and didn't record the entire show.
So my God!
I've got to make sure I do it properly this time.
It's on Facebook Live though. Doesn't that automatically record?
Yeah, but I can't upload it to the website in the end. But anyway, our audience don't care about that.
We're not on your website.
The voice again. No, on Facebook. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the far side of the world, from the heart of Fulham, Putney, and wherever Mike is, who are you in Ealing? Where are you, Mike? I don't know. Well, wherever you are. Acton, and from the core of Acton comes the greatest trio of comic book comrades, entertainment aficionados, and men who should know better. Unofficially sponsored by Brewdog. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest episode of The Boys from Bossk. Give it up.
It looks so much like you've placed it there on purpose, mate. Just the way it's all set up. It's just,
I can take it down for you. It's fine. Do you want to see the boxes?
No, leave it there. I want Brewdog to sponsor us. This is if we can get a sponsorship from them, or at least Harley Davidson. This would be
so
awesome.
You can get the whole logo in.
It's like you're an influencer already. It's great.
Yeah.
We'll be offered you.
I'm unofficially sponsored by Cavossier, which is the tipple for tonight.
Well, that's in your blood, mate. So
yeah, it keeps me going.
Yeah.
Quite literally. But here we are. So it's it's been an interesting week. It's been quiet for the most part. The biggest news, as always, is WandaVision, which we will come back to later. But obviously, we do our show, and then something dramatic happens, and it did in classic Disney style. They fired old Cara Dune, as she's called in the series. What's her actual name? It's
Carano.
Gina Carano. Yeah.
Who, after months of I don't know, I think she probably thought she was being funny. And we're like in that online wittiness of like, masks are fake, blah blah blah. But
I think she was just a bit. I think she's just an arsehole.
Yeah. Okay. I was.
She's a typical UFC fighter, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's just got that persona of being queen bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. And she's like. But I get it. It's like, I don't care if you cancel me. You can't cancel me. I'll just keep on going. And I was like,
I'm a millionaire. I don't care.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think she really wanted to play the Disney game as well. I think that was obvious.
I didn't. No, I think she's, like you said, she's just a moron. Because if you actually look at what happened, right? Like I know that she was told by Disney, stop, just stop. Okay, we don't mind you having an opinion. I know Disney don't mind people having an opinion. But the one thing Disney doesn't want to ever happen, and I said this on another show, is do not associate us with Nazis and what happened to Jews during World War II.
Yeah.
Because Disney's history alone is just like,
they've got a murky history of that, haven't they?
Yeah. It's a murky history. So don't bring that to our table.
Is there a ghost behind you?
Yeah, it was I was getting anyway, distracted. So it's like Cara Dune, great role, absolutely great role. Getting no doubt paid well. They had a figure ready to roll out. They were like, do you know what? We might give you another series. There was rumors she was going to get either her own series or the
what was it? The Marshall
Rangers
one.
of the Republic.
Rangers, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was rumored, and it looked like they were building to that during the series because the guy, the Rebel pilot, kept talking to her, and he appeared at least 3 times in the show. He was like, "Why don't you come and work with us?" And she was like, "I don't know how I feel about that."
You mean Mr. Kim?
Yeah. so clearly something was meant to be happening with her character, and she went and ballsed it up. And what makes it even worse is she's gone off right into the hands of the right wing and made a deal with a guy called Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
And do any of you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Unfortunately, yeah. He's another top arsehole, isn't
he? Yeah. He's an internet. He truly is an internet bottom feeder of the highest order. Like he's not. He's actually a failed stand-up comedian and script writer. He tried to get into Hollywood, and they were like, "Yeah, no, bro, you're just not. You don't have the talent." And she's gone from that to bargain basement Ben Shapiro muse. Like Ben Shapiro, like, I've got her. She's mine. No, Ben Shapiro hasn't had sex, and I'm very clear. He's married, but he hasn't had sex.
I reckon he's completely smooth down there like a Ken doll.
Yeah, I don't think he's had any naughty, because he's a guy who was famous a couple of months ago for being upset about the WAP song. And he sat there. Oh yeah, it out. Yeah.
Didn't he say, "Oh, if there's something, if your pussy's wet, you need to go see a doctor or something," wasn't it?
Like I remember that. Yeah. But yeah, that all kicked off. How did you like, Dave? Did you like? You think was she a great character? Like, although she's been embraced by the conservatives of the internet, they actually did hate on her.
The character,
a woman who kicked her,
but herself, she's not a particularly great actress, is she? I mean, actor. I can't say actress no more. So
she did remind me of several trees I see every time I leave my house.
But as a character, the character's needed for the show. She played a good. It was a good character.
Yeah,
I think it's easily replaced, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you can always get another.
Yeah, you just
police officer in.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Get another strong female in. Do a good
That's
job.
what I said to Curtis the other day.
Yeah,
I said, just get someone like the other UFC woman that's doing it.
Oh,
doing all the movies.
She's in.
I can't think of her face now. I can see her face. I can't think of her.
Well, Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, yeah.
That's it.
She's done a few action films and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. Get her in. Same build, same
done
sort of
Fast
style.
and Furious, didn't she? At one point.
Yeah, and she can act a bit more, can't she? Because she's done WWE, didn't she?
Yeah, she's done the Expendables.
Yeah, you can just swap her out. Yeah. Just say, "Oh, this is my sister, Tina."
Well, you just don't say nothing. You just do what they do in Wonder and say, "Oh, they've replaced her."
You do what they did in Iron Man, like literally Don Cheadle
with Don,
walks into the scene nothing. And he's just like, no, he does it. He literally goes,
"It's me. Deal with it."
Yeah, I know, it's me. Just deal with it, and that's it. That's all they need to do, and it'll be fine. There is a rumor on the back of this, though, because old man Lauren himself has been cast in a HBO show, The Last of Us, which I never played the game. I'm not a PlayStation guy. Have either of you guys?
Yeah, it's a great game. It's very story driven, so it will make a good TV show. Are we just getting a single dad's Pedro Pascal universe? Is that all it is?
Yeah, I've had rumors. Do
you know what I mean? It's just going to be him being a single dad and everything, like, you know.
He's a new. What character was like that before? Was it? I can't think who's had a career where they've just been dads. I was gonna say Sean Connery, but it's definitely not him.
Ted Danson's always been a dad.
Yeah, I was thinking Ted Danson. Yeah, Three Men and the Baby.
Tom Selleck's always been a dad.
Travolta.
Yeah, it could be Travolta. That could be interesting. But yeah, that's all happening. I think it's a nice casting. They cast the young lady who was in
Game of Thrones with him.
Game of Thrones,
Lady
as well,
Mormont, who's badass,
and she was fantastic in Game of Thrones. Man, she went down though. They should never have. Yeah, shouldn't have done that to her. She should have been the last one standing. She was a badass. Absolute badass.
She just didn't give a damn.
Yeah, she was just like, you know what? I'm here to fight. I may be a little girl, but I can carry a sword, and somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, man. Just if you look, just gonna look at you, you're gonna die.
But yeah, that was that. So that was quite a big way to start off the week, and I was quite to see an actor literally throw their career away in such a spectacular fashion. After she done the first Deadpool, where she played a henchman who just punched.
I completely forgot that she was in that.
Yeah. I don't think she had any words though.
I can't remember. She had like two or three. Yeah.
And and it's like to actually throw your career away like that. That's impressive. But Ben Shapiro, I'm sure, will take care of her.
Well, it's just another one for the gutter, isn't it? She'll be on, some documentary where she feels sorry for herself in a couple of years' time. Do you know what I mean? So,
or maybe she'll learn and come back again. Because, like I said, what she did wasn't the worst thing in the world, compared to a lot of other people I've seen online.
No, but she definitely pissed off someone high up in Disney.
Because
the wording was abhorrence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not typical media speak. That's someone with serious clout throwing shit against the wall because of what you've done.
It's like at some point, well, hopefully she'll learn from it. I'm just like, what do you do what you got to do? If you're that, if you want to not be in Star Wars and conservative films, your thing, you go for it. I can't think of many big conservative directors apart from not Zack Snyder, but who's the other guy who done Transformers?
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay might pick her up. He loves a bit of conservative politics in his movies, so he may go for it. Put her in Transformers as Megatron, she'll be fine.
No makeup.
Fine.
Well, as a robot.
Yeah, she's got the acting down for that, isn't she? So
yeah.
Oh Lord,
I am
Megatron.
Now, moving on slightly to somebody else who threw their career away, Joss Whedon. I can't remember anybody who's had a run as bad as Joss Whedon has, and it started with Age of Ultron 2. Not many people like that. It's not Age of Ultron 2, but Avengers.
It's so mad because I used to love Joss Whedon, and it's just like he's just done consecutively bad decision. And
I think it first started actually when he separated from his wife. And she just spilled the beans about how he was banging everybody but her, from Buffy onwards. And then the news came out this week, obviously, with all the rest of it. But yeah, you liked him. Everybody, were you a big Whedon fan, Dave?
Oh yeah, Buffy was like my childhood.
Yeah, big time.
And then everything that comes with it. You got Buffy, you got Angel. He's done a couple of Star Wars films. He's done everything that I like. Even though he did make a bad decision with the Star Wars films, we won't go there.
No,
it's
you're
a different show.
I think you're messing him with J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah, that's it. I did get muddled up then. But yeah, we won't go there anyway.
That's what we're here for, man. You've had a lot of brew dogs. Don't feel bad.
I have drunk a lot this weekend, yes.
So that was the start of when the bad news about Joss came out. Then in this week it started. Well, we went from Age of Ultron.
Then Cyborg kicked in, didn't he?
He moaned all the time about Avengers, Age of Ultron, about how it was hard, it was this, it was difficult, it was that, and this and that. Then he got hired to do Justice League. Now, whether or not you like Zack Snyder, his daughter died. He had to leave the project to grieve and deal with that. Joss Whedon's been brought in, and ever since then, it's just been pile on after pile on. People bringing up how he basically bit too touchy-feely on set. I think the guy who was Spike said how Joss Whedon gripped him up at one point and they had to get him because he was popular. And then
he didn't want him to be popular, did he?
Yeah, and it just goes on from there. And it just seems to be a cycle of abuse and nobody turning around to Joss and going, Joss, bro, you wrote Buffy the Vampire, not The Godfather. Back the fuck up a little bit, bro. Just like, what are you doing? Like,
it's like with all of these things, isn't it? It's like once the tap starts pouring, then all these stories start coming out and people start. So that's, like Charisma's Carpenter's statement was really damning. I know. Yeah. And then you think, well, this guy it's the same as Weinstein, not as predatory, but it's just that thing of, oh, I'm infallible. You can't touch me. I'm the breadwinner and all this. And then, fair play to Cyborg. I mean, it's probably fucked his career, a fair bit, but he's like, fuck it. I'm not going to let him get away with it. And fuck him. Yeah, he can fuck off.
Look, I'd be happy to see the back of Whedon. I think he's pushed his luck.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder jumped in over the past couple of months saying stuff like he hasn't used one shot that Joss Whedon used in his version of Justice League. And he said he hasn't even watched it, but he's not using any shots that Joss Whedon made in his version of Justice League. And Zack Snyder, as his currency's risen, Whedon's has gone down so badly. Now, the trailer for Justice League came out over the week, yesterday, I think it was. I know, Dave, you were like, I ain't watching it. I don't watch trailers. Fuck that shit. I don't care. I ain't watching it for the boys from Bossk. But I know you have.
Mike, I actually watched it twice.
Mike, have you watched it?
Yeah, I did, but it's weird. I watched it, but tried not to in the same way because trailers always ruin shit nowadays. So I was do you know what I mean? Everything in the trailer, I'm like, oh, cool. I know everything's going to happen now.
Oh, black Superman suit.
Yeah, I mean, but I think I think what's cool is that he did kind of just show us stuff that we already knew was going to happen. Really, I think the biggest thing was the new gods being in it a lot more.
Yeah.
So having Big Barda and what is it? Mother? Is it Mother?
Well, Granny Goodness.
Yeah. Granny Goodness, that's it, yeah. So that looks cool. Again, everyone should just have their expectations on the floor for this. Expect nothing and then be happy. Because if people think they're going to get the best DC movie of their lives, then they might as well just go shove their head in the oven now. Because it's not. It's not gonna be the holy grail of DC movies. Yeah,
it's gonna be another car crash.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Frankenstein. It's gonna be a Frankenstein of a movie. It's gonna be. I mean, look, I'm looking forward to it, man. I want to see more Batman. I want to see more DC stuff. DC should be as good as Marvel. They've got so many great stories. They've got better stories than Marvel, arguably. They've got cooler characters, and they should be absolutely killing it. Not that I love Marvel as well, but come on, man. DC has so many storylines.
This is the adult version of Marvel, isn't it?
Yeah, it was in a way because
it's the grittier version.
They're the first ones to actually do adult storylines and do stuff.
I'm sorry, I've got to pull out my gun. I've got to pull out my gun and pull you guys up on this. Yeah. Batman and Superman, maybe, right? But the big problem with DC, and look.
All right, I'm going to argue with this one.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, the big problem with DC is that we keep comparing it to especially the film universe, with Marvel. The DC's problem, and it's always been the case, is they, in the past 20 odd years or so, they only seem to love Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Right? And they keep making mistake after mistake, not because they don't have better stories or whatever, but because they're too damn lazy. And I'm sure I said this today before. Wonder Woman should have been the first film out of the door. Not Batman or Superman, but Wonder Woman should have been the first one out of the door. Because you could have played with her much more than those two characters. Much more. But again, DC keep making the same mistake. And yes, DC has some of the most emotional stories. They used to have some of the deepest stories. But not in the past, maybe 10, 15 years. Outside of, let's say... I'm
talking pre-52. Pre-52... All right, I'm sorry, Curtis. It's all right. It's all right. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. It's fine. No. I'm just saying that I love Marvel as well, man. Don't get me wrong. Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America is probably one of the best comic book runs ever. What Michael Bendis did with Avengers Disassembled, House of M, then to New Avengers, then to what was it? Secret Invasion.
Yep.
Dark Empire. With Norman Osborn and all that. That was how many years of comics was that? 8 years of comics. That was all of Marvel. Civil War was in that as well. That was amazing storytelling. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that when you have the standalone stories, for me, some of the DC stuff is just this would be great on a big screen. Why are they not doing this more? And that was my point. I'm not saying I hate Marvel. Just
fair enough. Fair enough. I just think that I don't think DC characters are better than Marvel characters. I think the iconic visuals of it are, and DC has always had the better villains as far as I'm concerned as well. But in terms of the heroes, outside of Batman and Superman, they just don't seem to be able to push any other character. And if you to prove what I'm saying, the Flash, all right. If you watch the Flash, the first season's cool, right?
Yeah. Now it's just him running.
It's like I've got to get faster. Okay, why are you gonna get fast? Because the new bad guy is faster. How fast? Why can't you just train to get faster? You travel through time. How much faster can you get, bro? Oh, I've lost my powers. Oh no, but I've got to get new villain. I've got to get. And I'm just like,
I think you've gone through more than one season there, Curtis.
Yeah. But it's like the Flash. How many issues of the Flash are there? You can't get a story where it's not, that isn't the case. And like with Marvel,
okay, all right. Well, with Flash, most of it isn't about running. It's like, well, you got Captain Boomerang, haven't you? You've got the cold guy. Why can't I remember his name? It's not
Freeze.
It's Captain Cold.
It's Captain.
Captain
It's lots of captains, isn't it? It's lots of captains.
Yeah, exactly.
My captain. Yeah. No. See, that's it for me. Flash has never been that interesting because it is just him running around quite fast all the time, isn't it? Like the most interesting one was Flashpoint. You know. And that's what, when I was a kid, that's what got me interested into DC was the Elseworlds. So that was the big. That's what I've always liked about DC is their Elseworld stories are just fantastic.
Yeah,
you can put any characters at any time frame and do whatever you want with them, and then you have these great standalone stories which you don't have to read over, 2 years worth of comics.
Okay, look, I'm not saying I hate DC comics, all right?
I'm not saying I hate Marvel. I've got loads of Marvel in my collection.
I will say this. I just think that DC...
I like both viewers.
They sharing a love.
I think it's just my point is just that I get frustrated that DC have just not done what Marvel have done. Because it's just like there's a wealth of stories to be done, to be told. And it's like you could have, like the Justice League has like a massive rotor. That you literally could just fold people in, fold people out. Not like the Avengers, because like that's always like a major story point when they sort of fold in and fold out. But like if you had like a Justice League rotor, you could have anyone you want in a way, and it would make sense for them to be in the story.
Yeah.
And like, so case in point with Cyborg, it's like I'm interested in the Justice League film to see how much more Cyborg we actually get.
Yeah. No, I really think, look, for me, especially with the Cyborg thing, the one thing that Marvel done and really actually exposed the big problem in DC Comics as a whole, I think, is that, Marvel's just a much more diverse product.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Cyborg originally wasn't even in the Justice League. No. That was something that was done, I think, 52?
The New 52. He's the one that brought the Justice League together in it, basically.
Yeah. And that's fair enough. I ain't mad at DC for that shit. That's cool, right? If I how much time you got? Right. If I was to say my big problem with DC is that Christopher Nolan was a great storyteller. Right, he told a really good story, and everything fitted around that story. No matter how good you think the last film was or not, his Joker, his Batman, his Ra's al Ghul, his Bane, the story fitted around what the characters were doing. The problem with DC's film universe is Zack Snyder is the type of fan I am. Right when I was 13 years old, I wanted to see big bangs. I wanted to see explosions. I wanted to see women on there being saved. I wanted to be like that big hero stuff. Yeah,
and everything has to be filmed at night.
Yeah.
No daylight allowed.
But again, and this is what I think the new Justice League version he's done, which is 4 hours, by the way. And the original Justice League film was 2 hours.
Why has he done 4 hours?
You can pause it on HBO Max
because I think this is actually going to be the last DC film. This is going to be the last version of DC that Zack Snyder is actually going to be able to do, and I think they're like it needs to be big. Right?
Is Marvel going to get brought by this? DC going to be brought by Disney?
No, I've heard rumor. Here's the rumor for you, boys.
Oh yeah,
that some there's some big like wealthy comic fans that are trying to buy DC Comics.
Oh, wow.
Not the just the comic side of it. So Warner still own all the rights to the movies, TV shows, cartoons, but the comics will just be produced by these fans who are trying to get. That's just a rumor. I don't believe it's true because there's no way. Like,
how much would that be? That would be. I mean, we're talking serious wedge, no?
No,
it'd be a couple of billion.
I reckon it'd be because this is the thing. In terms of comic books, you're lucky if DC's making 100 million. There's millions in comic books to be made, but I don't think there's billions. That's all merchandising, franchising, animation, film, TV. Comic books themselves, I'd be surprised if the actual comic book printing is just a loss maker for DC for a large portion, because it's graphic novels that sell a lot. Actual comic book publishing, the value's just gone, and I think that's why people are speculating that DC are going to stop.
That's because graphic novels, you get the whole story and you can read it all in one hit. You haven't got to wait for the next issue, wait for the next issue, wait for the next issue. It's just one big hit, got the whole story done.
And that's why they're doing the Black Label more, because that is like, it's like 4 issues. You get a decent wedge of a story. You wait a month and you've got the whole collection. It's they're expensive, but they look nice. I've got like all the. What is it? See, like, I know you can't hear, but like Dead Earth. I mean that looks like it's a big comic. Look, size to my head. Yeah. Like they are nice looking things. Like even the Harleen Quinzel one. Look, that looks good as well, doesn't it? Like these are worth the money you pay for them. Whereas like the comics have got smaller now. Like, I noticed that the other day. I was reading them and I was like, wait a minute, I swear there was more.
12 pages done.
I think if the comic book industry could find a way to make comics cheaper, in terms of getting more comic book readers into it and stuff like that, if the industry could find a way to make comic books cheaper, and actually like appeal to younger people, I think things like Black Label, they appeal to those people who've been comic book readers for maybe 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. The more adult audience, which is where all these franchises, even Marvel, are having problems with. And I hope DC is able to show other characters than Superman and Batman some proper love. Because if this carries on, Marvel is just going to be untested. And when DC pull their finger out of their ass, the Joker spanked at the box office. I think they made $1 billion in the US alone.
Yeah.
Or like $500 million in the US alone. No Marvel film's done that, I don't think, apart from Avengers Endgame. And DC does. People do want DC to be successful, but they really need to stop just focusing on Batman, billionaire rich boy who literally could sort out Gotham by like funding healthcare, law enforcement, and schools.
Oh yeah, I wrote down this idea for an Elseworlds where it's instead of Bruce Wayne fighting crime, he goes and gets a master's in economics.
Yeah.
And then he just solves he solves the whole of Gotham's problems with economic planning.
But that's the truth, though. It's like literally, that's all they'd have to do. I think there was an issue of Constantine.
That's like the whole world and the outside in reality, though. You don't need the billionaire playboy to do everything and fix the whole world up. It's just not going to happen, is
it? True. Well, it was like there's an issue of Constantine that came out this last week, and then he solves. They make a comment about Batman and Tony Stark. Actually, imagine having enough money that you could solve the world's problems and not do it. And that's really the problem with Batman, which I think their future slate version. Sorry if I'm going about things that you chaps don't know, but they've got.
I've read the first issue of New Batman and the first issue of the Dark Detective.
Yeah, and I think the move away from Batman being rich is actually a good one.
Yeah,
and it might actually work for the character if they take it far enough. So he's lost. If I was to recreate Batman for today, he would have lost his parents, but also lost his entire financial. All of that would have been lost when he was young, and he trains up, and it is about vengeance, but then it's about the people. If you get what I mean. If they were ballsy enough to do it, and I think the new Batman they've got, I don't think he's loaded. I haven't read the issue yet, but I will catch up on that one eventually and see what happens. But I think that's
he's got all the toys. He's got all the toys basically. He's got all the toys. It's all right. I mean, I'm kind of glad this future ends thing's only 4 issues long because it's all a bit. I don't want to say what's like bright and colourful. It's a bit like going into Namco on drugs. It's just like, it's like a bit much. It's like, and I'm like, I can't be reading this. Like, I can't be dealing with this all the time. So, but it's a nice. Again, I feel like it's a bit of an Elseworlds. It's a bit of a what if,
Yeah.
But, and I think it'd be cool if they keep the story going with the next Batman because that's quite interesting. But the whole of it, it's a bit much.
Fair enough there. No, but yeah, that was just my thing. I think DC can do a lot better, but they keep letting themselves down. Like, although I think they need to stop trying to be like Marvel.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
And you just can't be DC.
You can't replicate it.
Yeah, and you don't want to. DC's never been about sort of making the Marvel universe sort of thing. Even their comic books, to a degree, have never quite worked when they've tried to do that.
Yeah, when they try and make them too pally with everyone, like so and so's lawyer is this person, like it doesn't feel as connected, doesn't feel as authentic. But like when they do special stories where it is like a person being with a person, it does work. And let me say, I've never been so disappointed as I was with the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. Because
that was fabulous. Mark Strong should have got an Oscar for his part in that.
I love Green Lantern. I think like some of the best stories like Green Lantern are amazing, yeah. And like the way they just CGI Bukkake fested that film was just not fun for me. So I really want to see a good version of Green Lantern. That's they need to do. There's so many characters you can use.
Maybe he's going to be in the Justice League and have kept it quiet.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit.
Oh, Dave, you see, you shouldn't be here. You should be writing this shit. I hope so. I really do. I think Green Lantern.
Do you know what would be
sick? Light it up and it won't be dark anymore.
I hope they really use DC. Sit down and think and go. Do you know what? How are we going to do this? How are we going to make this better?
Do you know what would be sick if you see Abin Sur get killed by Darkseid and you just see his ring go off?
Yeah, no, that would be really cool. That would be cool. I'd be happy with that. Seeing a little bit of Jon Stewart, because I remember Justice League for me was the cartoon.
Yeah, that was
fantastic.
Sick.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of that cartoon. It'd just be nice to see a little bit of that, which was really good storytelling, happen on for DC. I'm just reminiscing. My heart, it breaks my heart. Justice League, Zack Snyder. How did that happen?
The main thing is like literally expect nothing.
Let's not knock it until we've watched it.
Let's just
all right, okay. I'll be open.
Let's just expect nothing and then be happily surprised.
Yeah,
I think that's the way we've got to go.
Relationship, Mike, man. It was Man of Steel. For the first 40 minutes, Man of Steel was superb. Like, no, I was the last man to go. Russell Crowe, Superman's daddy. I'm not buying this. No, blew me away. All right, absolute amazing opening scene. Then gets to the second half of the film, and it's like emo Superman. Really? Is emo Superman a thing, right? Moody for the rest of the film. Female characters that make no sense whatsoever, literally don't do anything in the film. Lois Lane. He had the opportunity to make Lois Lane a really cool character, yeah?
Yeah.
Does nothing with her. And then the end of the film is just like, all right, that's all the stuff I saw in the trailer, but faster.
And darker.
Yeah, and what's with the dark palettes here? And then you get Batman versus Superman, which as far as I'm concerned has one of the best openings I've seen in a superhero film ever. One of the most amazing openings where Batman's driving through the city and everything's collapsing. There's smoke. There's rubble.
Yeah, well, the fight scene was odd.
Yeah, absolute amazing scene. And then it's like Martha. Martha, why did you say that? I was like, really? You're gonna stop your entire crusade because he says Martha? That's it. That you literally.
Yeah, but he's probably thinking that's my mother's name.
Oh my god.
No, that's my mother's name. What? We have the same mother? No.
What if he said Amy? Do you know what I mean? What if his mum's name was Amy? Batman would have just, who's Amy? Yo, and then what hurt even more was the Doomsday. Like, Zack Snyder takes three of the probably greatest Batman Superman stories. So Batman versus Superman, which was in the animated story and it's quite a good tale. Doomsday and the death of Superman, and the Dark Knight Returns. He took some of the most amazing scenes from those stories and reduces it to Martha. I don't know. I my hopes for Justice League are low, as you can tell.
Maybe just threw loads of paper in the air and just caught one quote and said that's the quote.
I hope it works out. Zack Snyder deserves a little bit of love because at least he's done it, and I've got to give him credit for that. I wouldn't have taken that job because the fans alone would be.
You would have taken it with the 400 million you was given.
No, I'd never take that job. I couldn't take the abuse. Especially when his daughter passed. It wasn't nice. But anyway, it'll be out soon on HBO Max. I don't know how we're getting it in the UK. I assume Sky is probably going to put some money down for that, and it'll be on Sky TV. At which point I have to get Sky Cinema or Now TV Cinema. But I am looking forward. I do want to see it.
It's going to be a £20 budget. That's what it's going to be.
I don't care. Yeah. I'll watch it.
Someone on box office is going to grab it.
Yeah, I will watch it. I think hopefully it will be good and enjoyable. And like I said,
just expectations 0. That's all I have. So no expectations. That's it.
I don't know. I get excited easily. I'm that kind of.
Well, it's going to be a weird one, isn't it? Because they're going to have to show it worldwide, everywhere, at the same time.
No, they didn't do that with Wonder Woman. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do that with this one. With Wonder Woman, I think Wonder Woman didn't get released until like 2 weeks after.
They would have done it if the cinemas were open, wouldn't it?
No, the cinema release was at least 2 weeks after the one in the States.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
That's
with
weird.
This. Yeah, I don't know why that decision was made. I think because of COVID, they just thought, do you know what? I think it's probably simple. If they released it in the UK, it probably would have ended up on everywhere. every website in the world, it probably would have ended up there. The UK is one of the biggest markets for like IP theft. So if it's released in the UK, it'd be on every download site in the world, which is probably why they didn't release it here. But I'm just speculating. I don't know the answer. But nevertheless, that's enough time dedicated to Zack Snyder. I think he's had
the part one of the show, ladies and
gentlemen. And let's move on from Zack and his League of Justice. It's in the name. WandaVision. Again, another episode. A divisive episode for some. Me, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely wacky and out there. I have a few
swimsuit edition. Is that what we're going to call that?
I've got a few ideas of what's going on. How did you guys? Let's start with Mike this time. Mike, how did you feel about the latest episode of WandaVision? You still in there, or are you about to run away?
I'm still on there, gripping my seat. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm literally counting down the days till Fridays. I'm literally so like it's nice to be excited by it, like a TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my own theories about what's going on.
Well, feel free to. Share.
Well, I've got this is the thing with Marvel. They've thrown it up in the air, and I feel like it could be a number of things, couldn't it? So, right. So, first off, I don't think Pietro is Quicksilver. I don't think Quicksilver is Quicksilver. I think he's either Mephisto or he's that Nightmare character.
Okay.
All right. And I think, because of the little shark thing came up. And it was about stealing your magic or something, all bit on the nose. And then so that's what I think. I don't think it is Pietro. I think someone's tricking him, or I don't know, something's going on. Or if it is Pietro's being controlled. Something's going on there. I still don't think I don't think Scarlet Witch is. I don't think she's in control. I think she's being used.
Okay.
Yeah, and then. I don't know if Vision's alive or not. I don't know. See that I'm just I guess bugging me. I keep on thinking about it, and I'm like, has she made the stone again? Has she made a deal with Mephisto to have the stone back, and then this is her deal, controlling it for the stone. Anyway, next episode is going to be interesting because Kat Dennings is in it, isn't she?
She got sucked in, didn't she?
But she got sucked in. So I reckon what's going to happen is that Vision's going to unlock her or something, and then they're going to have a little conversation about what the fuck's going on, And then, anyway, I think a lot of... and then who's this guy? Who's the aerospace engineer?
It's going to be Reed Richards, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Reed Richards at this point. But in fact, before we come to me, Dave.
I've got a theory about this.
Yeah.
Because I watched Endgame the other day again.
Right. Yeah.
And Rocket said when Thanos clicked his fingers, it left a cosmic energy around the Earth.
Yeah.
So that could bring the Fantastic Four in if they were in space at the time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because they could be coming back into Earth's atmosphere the time it happened. And then they'd get their payouts that way.
I think all four of them got snapped.
And they said something like they're scared to go back into space. So that could be them as well. They're scared because they've got their powers and trying to keep it secret.
Good luck with Ben Grimm then.
Yeah, where's a big rock hiding in a building somewhere?
Oh, I didn't realise you got a rock garden, Reed. That's a really nice rock garden you got. Yeah, it's got a water feature. Does it? No, it shouldn't do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Reed Richards, he's the master. He's got every background, hasn't he? Physics, chemistry, engineering, biology.
Well, it depends how they
aerospace.
It depends how they end up presenting the Fantastic Four. Theoretically, it could be any one of the main. You've got
well, Ben Grimm's an engineer, isn't he?
Yeah, and what's his name? Human Torch was also, although he's a playboy, he's actually quite smart in some of the adaptations of his character. And in the last Fantastic Four film, he was actually quite smart. So that could be interesting. And what would be... Okay, so here we go. This one just came into my head. What if it's a Fantastic Four, but it is Reed Richards that they're bringing back, but what if this isn't about Wanda as much as we think it is? Because there's something I've noticed about Vision, right? Vision keeps touching people and phasing into their heads. What if a lot more of the people in this town are actually machines or synthetic than we realize? Because there's no, like, what's Vision doing when he's touching people? Remember, he touched the computer. And then he keeps switching people on and off. Now, he may just be touching brainwaves or passages or whatever. But what if there's a lot more to this town in terms of it being synthetic than we realize? And that's where the problem is. Because remember, when Vision tried leaving that town, he didn't die immediately. He started falling apart.
Yeah.
And
well, being pulled apart, doesn't he?
Yeah. Theoretically, he should have just died the second he stepped out of there. And I think this is what they call it, the Kansas City Shuffle. We're looking at Wanda and going, this is all about Wanda. But actually, it may be Vision. And a lot more people, because when he was walking around the town, there was a lot less control, which everybody's assuming is Wanda. But
Well, you got to remember, he's still a computer, isn't he? So yeah.
But what if all these people that are trapped, like that woman who was trying to put a washing line up or decorations up, what if she's actually synthetic? And all this stuff, because remember, they had the Vision for 5 years.
But she was just a failed android trying to put her thing up.
You know, it's more Stepford Wives than people are assuming. And what if that's what the issue is?
But was it all going slightly darker because she wasn't in the shot? So her range was not that long.
Maybe.
That's why they all stopped.
I'm just putting it out there to make you guys lose some.
Because everyone was moving when they're in her area, but once they go out of her area, they seem to get slower and slower and slower.
That's what they want her to think. Like maybe it's a mixture of the two. Like Wanda is controlling her magic. That area she's created is where her magic's powerful. But what if it's actually, like I said, more about Vision? Because they're saying Wonder Man's coming in to this, and Wonder Man's definitely.
He mentioned that to you the other day. See, I had that theory. I saw the picture on the background of that wall. I sent it to you.
And
I said, "Who's this blurred man in the background?" And I googled it, and it's Wonder Man.
And Wonder Man, Simon Williams, was the template for Vision in the comic books.
Yeah, he had his brainwaves, didn't he?
Yeah, and remember, Vision said that he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who he is outside of this, outside of what's happened. So I'm thinking, actually, this is more to do with Vision, and we're being played. We're literally being played because Dave, when we were watching WandaVision, and Mike, I don't know if you noticed, there was a scene when he walked into that suburb where everybody was standing still, and there's a pattern you can see on the pattern of the houses when he's
the layout of the houses,
and I can't remember what that symbol was, but I think that's the Vision's symbol. And I just think that the Vision's playing a bigger part than we actually suspect in this. But that's me. What's your
maybe it's something you've seen in Star Wars.
Maybe. No, because it's similar to the Empire's symbol, isn't it? Yeah.
It's very similar,
Could Vision be the heart of what this actually is?
There's a lot of theories, isn't there? It's a hard one.
Well,
that's why they're keeping you more intrigued.
Hayward wasn't bothered by Scarlet. He wanted to take Scarlet out. He didn't want her back, and his sword's all about sentient weapons. And
I reckon it's Sentinels. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be something. I reckon they use Vision as the basis for the Sentinels
to hunt down people, superpowered
people,
and that's how they're going to find the X-Men.
We should all be writers. We should get together. Like comic books, because I think Marvel's playing a trick on us.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be surprised if that isn't Reed Richards. I want it to be Reed Richards.
I don't think they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four like this. I don't think so. I'd like it to be,
but not just Reed Richards. Like they're not going to like Reed Richards, as we know, is a super scientist. That would make sense that he appears.
And there's so many other super scientists. There could be stuff left over from Tony Stark that no one ever saw.
Bro, remember, in the Marvel Universe, there's about 10 super brains.
That's what I mean, there's brains everywhere.
Number 1 is Moon Girl, who's getting her own series soon, by the way. Number 2 is Reed Richards. And then I think it's Tony Stark. No, Doom, I think, is like number 5.
He's after T'Challa, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think we might be in for a little. I think there's going to be a big appearance. I think it may be Reed Richards. I think Quicksilver. What did you guys make of the advert?
I thought it was very strange.
That's what made me think it's Quicksilver's not him, because he's saying the same stuff as the Shark. He's saying about little devils and all this kind of shit. So something.
I think that
you were saying to me about the kid's powers, and then suddenly the advert stopped, and was it Billy or was it Tommy? One of the two stopped his brother, and then managed to hear his vision and everything else.
Yeah,
so
I think
he found his power.
Yeah, Silver is the villain, and he was there to get the kids' powers going. But it's about Billy, because Billy, remember, Vision's dead, right? And possibly the only thing keeping him functional is Scarlet Witch. But Billy actually is a magical, like he has control of magic. And what Quicksilver's done is given the ability to control that. And if he hadn't gotten that ability, they would have died. He would have died the second that because Scarlet Witch is going to lose control. And the second she does, everything disappears and goes back to normal. But this is where I think Billy comes in. Billy's literally going to be the one that saves everybody because of his magical powers. He's the one that's going to make sure by the end of this, Vision's actually alive. And that's what I think that advert was referencing. He wasn't able to access the magic until Quicksilver came along. And if something hadn't happened, hence Vision trying to leave, the kid wouldn't have been able to do what he did. But that's me speculating, nerding out ever so slightly. But that was.
I don't know. It's just a big brain headache, isn't it? Trying to think. and this is what they want you to do, so you get excited for Friday for the next episode because you're thinking, what is going to happen?
This is why
I need it to happen.
Drink.
Yeah.
Mike, what's your take on it? Have I inspired your or just made it even worse?
It's weird how we've all got different theories.
I think it's cool because they've just left it open to, a good 3 or 4 different options. There's not one option where you can say, like, you can say it's going to be the multiverse, you can say it's going to be the birth of the mutants, you can say it's going to be the birth of the Fantastic Four, you can say it's just Mephisto fucking with people. So it's like literally there's probably like 6 different theories, and I'm like, cool, I don't want to work it out, I want it to be a surprise. Like if it is,
like, it keeps you more intrigued to watch the end.
Like if it is just Mephisto, then like cool, that'd be fun. But like, I want it to have a little bit more panache. Like it's just interesting because we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
And I think that's why it is so exciting watching this series. And again, do you know what I mean? I think that's why Marvel, for all Marvel's faults, working with communist China, for all Marvel's faults, they have been able to surprise people a lot. Even when heroes are going to win, generally, with all their stories, they've been able to surprise you ever so slightly in terms of storytelling. And I think, especially with WandaVision, I don't know what's going to happen. The last time I felt this, like, wow, about TV was Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones is that you didn't know what was going to happen. They set that cudgel down early.
We knew what was going to happen.
No.
We knew Aaron was going to come back. Everyone knew that.
No, hold on. Forget for a moment that the last season was terrible, right?
That doesn't exist.
Outside of that, it was exciting storytelling.
It's like the Phantom Menace, it wasn't there.
Yeah, you didn't know who was going to survive. You didn't know who was going to make it to the end. And that sort of storytelling's been missing a lot. And I think that's why WandaVision has been so divisive. In that it's sort of gone to people, we're going to give you a little bit, but we're not going to give you everything. And that's been really exciting to watch a show like that. It's the first time in a long time I've been able to watch TV and not be like, I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen. I've got no idea. No idea whatsoever. And that to me is really, really exciting storytelling.
I think it's even more exciting because we have somewhat of an idea, because we can have 20 different theories about what's going to happen. And I think that was what was fun about Game of Thrones, is that everyone had a theory, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like everyone thought this was going to happen, that was that person's going to die, them two are going to get married, that's going to happen. But it's the same with WandaVision, because you've got, bloody 50 years of comics to go and comb through and think, it could be this, could be that, it could be
Let's just bring this guy in.
Yeah, like they could,
game changer.
How many characters are there in Marvel? They could bring in anyone. They could bring in you could bring in bloody Forge from the X-Men, because he's got a way with machines, hasn't he? That's an obscure character that.
Oh, how badass would that be? See, you should be writing this shit, Mike. How?
What about Dr. Octopus? Because he's going to be in the multiverse, right?
Yeah. Oh my god,
how awesome would
That's because it could be Dr. Octopus because he's coming back into the Spider-Verse, isn't he? So I mean, how many scientists are there? There's like literally most evil people are scientists at one point.
Everyone has evil.
You know what I mean? Like, or you could have, I don't know, you could have anyone really. Like you could have Beast. That would be an obvious one to do. You know, who could you? I mean, you could even have. Well, I don't think they do Hank Pym because that would just be boring. Oh, look, here's Michael Douglas. He can't really walk down the stairs, but he looks cool, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it might be. There's a chance it might be him.
Yeah,
I haven't really thought about it. I was just like, unless he does something spectacular, it doesn't make any sense. But it would tie into Quantumania, which is the next Ant-Man and Wasp film. I just hope Marvel haven't bitten off more than they can fucking chew.
What's the next big film after Black Widow? Is it Spider-Man?
No, Ant-Man. No, it's Spider-Man, and then after that is Ant-Man and Wasp, and then Doctor Strange. No, it's Doctor Strange. Then Ant-Man.
So they're going to have to try and link all three of them to get all of them together, aren't they?
Oh, they will. I've got no doubt. Feige's already figured that shit out. He's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? I've got no doubt he's already figured that out, and Marvel know what they're doing. It's just I hope whatever happens with WandaVision, I hope they get the X-Men right, because it's been Fox didn't get the X-Men. They just didn't, even with the.
But they didn't get a Fantastic Four either. So
no,
and they had 3 or 4 shots at that.
Yeah, they just didn't get them, and I hope
1, 2, 4 goes.
Yeah.
Well, they did one in the 70s that didn't get released, didn't they? Because it was that bad.
No, that was the 80s.
TV show.
80s.
Yeah, I've seen clip. I think I've seen it. It's on YouTube. You can catch it. It's appalling. It's got the heart. Don't get me wrong. It's got that Marvel heart that they want to tell a story about these 4 intrepid heroes, but it's bad.
It always goes back to the same beginning story, and it's like just get it out there and get there's been so many comics, so many stories of Fantastic Four meeting the X-Men, meeting Secret War, doing everything.
For me, the best one was Ultimate Fantastic Four. They updated it quite nicely, that one, and I think that worked quite well. And I think the last Fantastic Four film, it had
moments.
it had a lot of moments, and it kind of worked. It kind of worked, and it wasn't too bad. So the idea was there, even if the project didn't work in the end.
So Michael B. Jordan's going to come back as Johnny Storm.
No, I heard rumor that
because he's dead in the Black Panther.
Yeah. No, I heard rumor Chris Evans was returning it because apparently the rumor is that with Doctor Strange, they're going to bring characters in from different worlds. So it's people that were meant to be cast as the Avengers who didn't get the chance will be in it, but also they'll bring in characters from other films.
So basically, it's going to link into the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, Johnny Storm will return as Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, and it'll work like that. Tom Cruise,
and then him and Captain America will look at each other face to face and go, "You look just like me."
Yeah. But it'll be interesting. We'll see. It's interesting days ahead.
And then the What If cartoons will come out because it all links up.
Yeah. Well, Bad Batch should be out before Easter, hopefully.
Yeah, Bad Batch April.
Yeah. What If I'm dying to wait for? That's going to be my. That's
not until next year.
Spectacular. Yeah. No, I thought it was this year. Are they teasing?
It's been put back.
Like this Lego Star Wars game that we keep waiting.
I was looking forward to that as well.
Yeah.
Right, have we missed anything? Because we're coming up to the end of the show. Did I forget? Was there anything that we missed?
No, we covered all the people that were arseholes. Yeah, I don't know. That's it, really.
No, if that's it, that's it. We've done well. We're up to.
There wasn't much news really this week, is there? So.
It was a quiet week. Next week should be more fun as we approach the last.
Nothing new came out. So.
Oh yeah, I watched Clarice, the Silence of the Lambs sequel.
Oh, how was that?
I liked it. It was it's set I think 4 years, or no, 2 years after the events of Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
So, and she's like, everyone thinks she's like not dealing with what happened to her and stuff. So, and she's back in the field and she's chasing killers. And it's all very feels like Silence of the Lambs. It feels like an extension of the film. It's only one episode so far.
Okay.
But I like it already.
What's that on CBS?
Yeah, CBS. So like,
I'll give that a go.
It feels a bit X-Filesy because obviously it's sort of set around the same time. It's FBI, you know. They even have like the little, you know, writing on the bottom whenever they go places. But it feels like they're setting up some kind of conspiracy. But she's got like really bad PTSD about what happens. So I think it's going to be like her trying to deal with her shit and stuff. And everyone keeps on saying that her psychiatrist is Hannibal Lecter and stuff. And like it's really dark, but she's in a new FBI office and they put lotion all over her desk drawer, and she opens up the drawer and they go, "You put the lotion in the basket," and there's a basket for lotion. And I was just like, that is so dark. It's so evil.
But hey, workplace. I did see the guy who was in the show Mindhunters in it, which is really cool that he got another job playing an FBI officer. But I don't know if you could watch Mindhunters. There's a show called Mindhunters.
I watched the first season. That was very good.
Yeah, the guy from that, who was
So
like
what, the
old guy. He's
Okay.
in Clarice as well. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it like you have, Mike, but just the fact that he's in it alone makes me happy.
Yeah, he's a bad
that
one.
he's found another job. Of course, playing the
Because
FBI.
the second season of Mindhunters was very bad, unless it links up, because it's a similar sort of thing. They go and talk to serial killers.
I think they're just like, it's a whole different beast. But that I'm really excited to watch Clarice.
It's good. I enjoyed it, man. It's very feels like the film, and I'm glad that it's not. I thought it was going to lead up to Buffalo Bill. I'm glad that that's done, that's finished, and we're dealing with the aftermath of it, because there's no point. We know that story, you know. You can't do it better, so just leave it alone. And I think that's clever.
It feels sort of like a season 2 to that degree. Like,
because you don't have to set up the characters, you don't have to set up the world. We know what the world is. We know basically the character, and now we're just going to deal with the aftermath. So yeah, you're right. We don't have to do all that work that you do in season 1 of setting up the world and setting up the characters. We've almost gone. My only slight worry is the actress who's playing Clarice.
Yeah,
she's like, it might be where the character is at the moment, where it's like quite vulnerable, but she seems like very vulnerable at this moment.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's just something that grows throughout the show. Even at the end of the episode, she seemed to have got, you know, a bit of her panache and bite back. So that's my only worry. But otherwise, I think it's going to be a banger.
Okay.
Good. I look forward to. I think that one's CBS. I don't know how do you watch it over here? Was it Sky?
It's called changeyourvpn.com.
I haven't watched much. I only watched who told me they watched The Expanse?
I watched 3 episodes of The Expanse.
Do you know what? I watched the first 2 today.
Oh,
what did you guys think?
It's strange.
It's all right.
I think it's going to take a while to get into like the first season of the Clone Wars. I think it's going to take me a while to get past that first season to hit the good stuff.
Make it to the end. If you can make it to the end of the season, it picks up, I think, about halfway through.
I mean, I was already intrigued by the idea of gravity torture, which didn't even enter my mind. But I was like, oh, wow. So these people growing up on spaceships. Yeah. So the moment they're on Earth, they can't actually handle being on Earth.
Yeah.
The bones are fucked, and they've got. And I was like, oh my God, this is mental. And
the language as well. It's like a mix of patois and French. And I think that the fact they put that much effort into it is like,
and we actually found out what happened to the Ghost Rider as well. He's in that. He actually got another job after the Shield.
Oh, the Punisher. It's the Punisher. Was it the
Punisher?
The Ghost Rider.
That's Punisher.
It's the guy from Ghost Rider.
No, it's not. Is he in it as well? Hold on.
Thomas Jane, you were talking about.
No, I think he's talking about.
No. The other guy, the other guy that played the guy that played Ghost Rider was in the first 2 episodes.
Nicolas Cage isn't.
No, the one from the Shield.
Oh, from
episodes.
the Shield.
Which character is he playing in it?
Oh, come on! I've watched 2 episodes. I don't know their names yet.
No, because I basically somebody
it's the young
on
Mexican
the show.
looking one.
Oh, I won't spoil that for you then. Right, so yeah, just hit that up.
He dies and becomes the Ghost Rider.
No. I think I will stand by it. I think Expanse is the best TV sci-fi out there, and it's not pompous. It's not up its own.
That I did like the fact it's quite bare bones.
Yeah, it's very much like this is. Look, when people say things to me like sci-fi this, sci-fi that, and like stories like Dune are the best sci-fi, I disagree. Okay, not because I don't think they're good stories, because sci-fi to me is like, how do you travel through space? How do you communicate? How do you live?
You mean like Battlestar was at the start? Like Battlestar Galactica was like, they didn't have food, so they had to get algae.
How do you do things? Not giant worms that you need to get a drug
and lasers and stuff.
Yeah, and I think Expanse for the most part does that really, really well. It's not perfect, but I think if you can get past the first season, you will have one hell of a ride. The 4th season might be a bit like, all right, but definitely get past the first season. Thomas Jane, who was the Punisher, is in it. He's a detective.
Yeah, I like him. Really I like him so far.
But the president, I've never liked a woman swearing that much in my life, and like just go with it, and I think you'll have a good time.
I'll give it another watch. I'll give it another episode.
Was there anything else you guys watched? I think that WandaVision, the Expanse, is wrapped up for me.
I watched the whole season of a program you told me to watch, Teenage Bounty Hunters.
What do you
think?
Paid by
27-year-old women.
Yeah, but that can't be helped. It's like Karate Kid.
Do you know what? It's actually pretty good. It's not as bad as it sounds. It is quite a fun program. It's but you've watched it, Curtis, because you made me watch it.
Yeah, it's a decent show. I like it.
It is.
I don't blame anybody for not liking it.
It's better than Riverdale. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, look, it looks that we've hit the time. It's come to the end of the show. So, thank you guys for joining us. Leave your feedback on the video, or you can, if you're listening to us on the podcast, give us our
Twitter page
or access the Twitter page, obviously. But thank you for joining us again. It's been another great episode of The Boys from Bossk. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know. If there's anything you want us to not talk about, let us know. And Brewdog, if you're out there, we can do with some sponsorship. We're not,
Yeah. We only need 60 cans of show. It's fine.
We'll put it out.
I know you got some money now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me do this properly. This was another episode of The Boys from Bossk. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week for more. But either which way, have a nice night. I'm Batman.
Bye-bye.
I am Bane. Sorry.